Hi, Bill O'Reilly here. Welcome to the No Spin News for Monday, January 22nd, 2024. Stand up for your country and people in New Hampshire. Tomorrow we'll be doing just that, going to the polls, and we will have the best election coverage on the planet. You know, I was thinking about this over the weekend. The cable news television operations, that's my competition here. Okay. And I have sampled in the last week or so more than I usually do. And I'm perplexed. And maybe you can tell me if you watch me and cable news. I learn nothing. Nothing. I mean, they don't advance stories. They don't give you facts you don't know. They don't hone in on things that are important, as we will tonight. It's repetition after repetition after repetition, ideology after ideology after ideology. You sit there after 10 minutes. I mean, I don't know how you can sit there for an hour or two. So you tell me. Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com. I worked in the industry for more than 20 years. And the show that I put on, The O'Reilly Factor, was not boring. So there you go. You may remember that we made the call on Ron DeSantis 3 weeks ago, by far the earliest call in the country. And again, I'm a bragger. I brag. Yeah, we had the best election coverage. Okay, but we back it up. All right, I told you 3 weeks ago that DeSantis was through. And then I explained it last week in very vivid detail that he just couldn't get his message across because he's not a good campaigner. That's it. That's not an attack on him. It's not a slight. It's reality. All right. The eve of New Hampshire is the subject of the Talking Points memo. So there are two op-eds I want to talk about today. The first one is the Boston Globe yesterday, Sunday Globe. Now, the Boston Globe is not a newspaper any longer and hasn't been for almost a decade. It is in business to advance progressive causes. Okay? That's what the Boston Globe is. And it's fine with its liberal readership in Boston and New England. The people who are not liberal read the Boston Herald, it's a conservative paper. But the Boston Globe, they're not interested in balance or did Trump do anything good in his 4 years. No. It's, we got to get Trump from the very beginning. So I'm going to show you on a full screen, 3 parts of this editorial. If you're listening on a radio, I'll read them out loud. First, for independent voters who can cast a ballot in either party's primary, this ought to be the easiest call in a generation. Your vote is going to matter a lot more in the Republican race, and you have an opportunity to help save the country from the alarming prospect of a second Donald Trump presidency, unquote. So you got to save the country, all right, according to the Boston Globe. You got to save it. So I'm thinking about, Trump was president for 4 years. Did we need to save the country when he was president? Maybe I missed it. Things were kind of going pretty well. Not for the Boston Globe. Second, a full screen on the editorial. If Trump wins in New Hampshire, the odds are good he'll run away with the nomination. But if the combined votes of independents and Trump-skeptical Republicans beat him in New Hampshire, party that at least has a fighting chance to stop him in later contests, put the Trump era in its rear view mirror. That is a fantasy. That is not going to happen. But the Globe wants the people in New Hampshire to think it could happen, so they'll vote against Trump. Third one, quote, New Hampshire voters who do perceive him, Trump, as a threat to the Republican Party, to the country, to democracy, to all of the above, have a rare opportunity on Tuesday to do something about it. It's not a chance they should miss. Okay, now, when you editorialize, because I do every day, obviously, this is a news analysis program, you have a right to say whatever you want. And I don't object to the Boston Globe writing that, because they believe it. I do object to the Boston Globe telling me Hey, we're a fair newspaper. No, you're not. Okay. All right. Now, the Wall Street Journal today, and they don't like Trump at all, and it's a conservative editorial page. They're going, if Trump's elected, all right, if he gets in again, it's going to be the end of the Republican Party. And I'm going, what? And then they have a long, long list. Tariffs and this and that. I don't know. I'm looking at it. I'm going, I don't know. So the hate Trump movement is actually ratcheting up. And you're going to see this. So tomorrow night, Trump will win. And he'll win fairly handily because DeSantis dropped out. We're going to get to that in a moment. And Nikki Haley, she doesn't have to quit after that. She could stay in. She get enough money. But it's 4 long weeks before the South Carolina vote. What's Nikki Haley going to do? I guess run around all the counties in South Carolina. But it's pretty much over if Trump wins by 8 points or more, which I assume he will. And that's a memo. Okay. So 3 weeks ago, as I told you, I said this. Go. January 15th is the Iowa Republican caucus. Trump is a lock to win that. All right? That is because not all Republicans vote in Iowa. It's the hardcore party activists that vote, most of whom are MAGA people. So Governor DeSantis of Florida staking everything on Iowa, and he can't possibly win it. He just can't, unless between now and the 15th, there's some atom bomb drops or something. After Trump wins the caucus, and he will win by a pretty wide margin, it's over for DeSantis. Hello, here I am, standing O. First, and there was nobody even close 3 weeks ago, make that, right? So yesterday, DeSantis dropped out, and he endorsed Trump. And the 7 or 8% of New Hampshireites who are going to vote for DeSantis, not all of them are going to vote for Trump, but it'll be a wash. Nikki Haley's not going to benefit, and Trump may, a little bit. Now, I'm not going to pile on DeSantis. I mean, these people do that. Again, that's cable television. If you go and you watch tonight, they'll be kicking the hell out of DeSantis. That's it. Good job running Florida. Okay? I mean, hundreds of thousands of people are migrating there. So, and he might get another shot, but boy, he just doesn't have that public persona that you need today. He just doesn't have it. Maybe his wife could campaign for him, you know, because she's pretty energetic and, you know, out there, but him, pretty dour, D-O-U-R. That's the word to describe Governor DeSantis. All right, let's get another perspective here. Doug Schoen, one of our favorite guests, he's a Democrat political strategist, comes to us today from Miami because he's afraid of the chilly weather up here in New York. He's the author of the book, Four Presidents, Kennedy, Nixon, Biden, Trump, Leaders Who Changed History. You might want to check that book out. Great election reading. So you agree with me, I think, that Trump will take New Hampshire tomorrow?
Yeah, I think so. The only point of difference is I think it'll be double digits, Bill, but I think you're right on the money.
How does Nikki Haley react to that defeat?
Well, I think you said 3 weeks ago it was over for DeSantis. You were right. You were ahead of the curve. I think it's over for Nikki Haley. I mean, if she loses 8, 10, 12 points and she's 20 to 30 points behind in South Carolina and her funders disappear, how does she compete with Trump, with Tim Scott and every other ex-presidential candidate having endorsed the former president? I think it'll be over for Nikki Haley sooner rather than later.
Well, the odds of her defeating Trump in South Carolina are infinitesimal, but that doesn't mean she has to drop out. She could, you know, cruise along, got the money to do it, and then hope that some kind of judicial thing would knock Trump down. Super Tuesday might turn around in her favor. So I'm not, like, I knew DeSantis was done and not going to continue. I don't know that about Haley. I know she's going to lose in New Hampshire. But then afterward, I can't right now predict. I could guess, but I don't like to do that.
I would tell you, as a political strategist, my best guess is that she will figure out after New Hampshire, if she loses, as we're speculating, she will recognize.
All right, so you think she gets out? Does she endorse Trump?
I think ultimately she will, because she has no choice.
Okay. So she wants to stay within the party confines, doesn't want to be banished from the party.
Correct.
So she would endorse Trump. So then it's over. It's over for, there's no primary, no Super Tuesday, and all the networks lose hundreds of millions of dollars in advertising revenue. So they have to try to gin up something. And so I think they'll turn now then to Trump should be disqualified because of his legal problems. That's where I think the whole campaign will go after tomorrow night. How do you see it?
I agree that that's going to happen. I believe that Trump's greatest opponent, if you will, is the legal system rather than Joe Biden. And I think the media will aid and abet that because it's the best story going.
Okay. Wall Street Journal today, and as I said, they don't want any part in Trump being reelected. My question is, why isn't there anyone inside the Republican Party who, and it's almost the same in the Democratic Party, your party, there's really no politician who can rise up and challenge a guy like Donald Trump or a guy like Joe Biden? Why? Why is the field so weak in this area?
Well, two reasons. On the Republican side, because Trump dominates, period. On the Democratic side, we have a very weak vice president in Kamala Harris, who's even less popular than the incumbent president. We have only one person who could run a national campaign. I think he's 4 years away, Gavin Newsom. And the only other person who could run is Michelle Obama, and the chances of her running are very, very slight. Okay.
So Chris Cuomo said that to me over the weekend because I reported on Michelle Obama's podcast adventure with Jay Shetty. And I still can't figure out why she'd take time or bother with that. But Cuomo said to me that she's never going to run. And Cuomo, you know, is a Democrat, and he's in there with all the, and they all talk to him and all that. Now you're telling me she's not going to run. Then why is she on Jay Shetty's podcast?
Well, here's why. I said it's unlikely, very unlikely, Sharon. I didn't say impossible, Bill. Let's assume this summer, as we approach the convention, whether it be legal problems, health problems, performance problems, or all three, Joe Biden is just not up to making the race. Then the Obamas will have a decision to make. Do they want Michelle Obama to get the nomination other than Kamala Harris, who is a certain loser, a stone cold loser? And then maybe, just maybe, long shot yes, impossible no, that Michelle throws her hat in the ring.
Well, that's a likely scenario.
It's possible.
I mean, Biden has dementia. I mean, I know that. I knew this to be true. And if you or me, my mother had it, so I
as did my father.
Okay. He has it. Mm-hmm. So that is going to become more and more clear in the next months. If you look at his daily schedule, and we do that every day here, we're going to do it right after you leave the podium. He doesn't have anything scheduled. He doesn't do anything. Okay?
Right.
He is totally kept apart from the American people in every single way. Mm-hmm. Not running foreign policy. He doesn't even know that his defense minister is in the ICU.
Correct.
This is an impossible situation. As a historian, other than Woodrow Wilson, who suffered a stroke and was incapacitated, and no one knew it, his wife Edith ran the country for 18 months. No one knew it. This has never happened before. It is almost inconceivable that in a national convention in August, the Democratic Party will nominate a man who has dementia. I think we have to start now there. So then Michelle Obama becomes the only one, the only person inside the Democratic Party who could beat Trump. And that's where we are today.
One caveat, Bill. If Joe Biden, for some reason, is polling ahead of, equal to, or within the margin of error of Donald Trump, they might roll out Biden with his teleprompter and hope that he can get
happen. He's going to get worse, Doug.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
I mean, millions and millions of Americans have been through this. You don't get better. It's a slow slide to oblivion.
You dealt with it in your family. I dealt with it. I'm intimately familiar.
All right, Doug. Thanks very much as always. We appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.
Okay. Our freedoms should never be taken for granted. They must be cherished, protected, and defended. When corporations pander to the liberal agenda, they must be punished. When corporations stand up for conservative values, they should be supported. This brings me to Freedom 2.0, the bottled water company that proudly represents us. They have hilarious sayings on each bottle like, "This water ain't woke," and "bottled with liberal tears." Use the code BILL for a 15% discount and subscribe to Freedom 2.0. We must never discount freedom, but we can discount water as long as you use the code BILL. Please visit freedom20.com to order now. That's freedom, the number 2, the letter O.com. Freedom20.com, use code BILL for 15% off. Let's go to the mail. Okay. Angela, concierge member. Good, Angela. Hey, Bill, I hear speculation about Michelle Obama, but I wonder if she's really considering it. Being president is going to require and demand a whole lot more from her than simply spouting opinions. Frankly, I don't think she really wants a job. Well, you might be right. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Brian, if Michelle is the nominee, then Trump will lose. Could happen, but you don't know. You know, if Michelle runs, I would tie Michelle into Biden all day long. Mimi Norman, Simi Valley, California. Bill, could you please answer on how Biden is able to continue to forgive student loans when the Supreme Court said he did not have the power? Mimi, I have answered this question 20 times on this broadcast. Now, I'm not scolding you. I know you don't have time to watch all the shows and all of that, but you've got to assume I've addressed it. Supreme Court said Joe Biden cannot forgive private loans. Okay, there's no power to do that. But if you borrowed money from the federal government for your education, he can forgive those. Dan Pentecost of Brunswick, Georgia. Why has Robert Kennedy Jr. been snubbed by all the media? To me, makes more sense than most politicians. I don't know if he's been snubbed, but he polls, not polling well, 12% maybe. It's hard to understand him with the voice. It's not a good, it's a tough booking. A lot of conspiracy stuff all over the place, and that goes nowhere. Mike Glasney, Santa Rosa, California, with the chaos at the border, you and the folks may be stunned, but what I found out. During 62 years of processing new arrivals, ending in 1954, it's estimated 12 million immigrants arrived and went through Ellis Island. 12 million. In 3 years, more than 12 million have crossed illegally under Biden. So 62 years to 3 years, and its number's the same. Now, I can't verify those stats with Michael, but interesting. Victor, I remember the clip you showed about the Obama campaign in New Hampshire and the guy blocking your television shot. I've been watching you for a while right now, O'Reilly. Time flies when you're having fun. I know. When I looked at that, it just seems like yesterday. What was it? 2007? What was that? 2007? No, 2008. Beginning of 2008. It's unbelievable that it was 16 years ago. There you go. I'm still spry, though, right? James Holtz, Burnsville, North Carolina. Thank you for saving us a lot of money on insurance. We took your advice and used Policy Genius. I can lead all the horses to the water. That's what I can do. Okay. We have a lot of good stuff we know it's a downside, but a lot of people buying the whole set of the Killing Books, 13 of them. That they're still selling very briskly. I think people are afraid they're going to be banned or something. It's a great gift and great to have on your library. And then Killing the Witch is still doing pretty well. I mean, Christmas season is over, but Witches is humming along. So thank you very, very much. Word of the day, no vilipend. V as in Victor, I-L-I-P-E-N-D. No vilipend writing to me. Back in a moment, final thought, my jet ride back to New York yesterday. Your safety is important, and I am happy to introduce you to Burna, a self-defense solution that will help keep you and your family safe. Burna offers a powerful, non-lethal pistol with tear gas, pepper, irritants, and kinetic projectiles that disable attackers for 30 to 40 minutes. It's all legal in every state, and no background checks are required. And they ship directly to your door, very private. They are American-made in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and are trusted by U.S. government agencies and hundreds of police departments. If you are a gun owner, you need options. Avoid the complexities that come with taking a life and having to defend your freedom in court. And if you're adverse to firearms, Burna is a good alternative solution. So please visit Burna.com/Bill to receive a 10% discount. That's BYRNA.com/Bill. Stay safe with Burna. Okay, final thought. I took Delta from West Palm Beach to LaGuardia, New York City yesterday. Good. Airport under control. Okay. Flight took off on time. Very professional, very crowded flight. I'm surprised. A lot of people float. No problem at all. Everything went smoothly, and it's tight, no doubt about it. It's not the most comfortable experience in the world, but gets you there. So flight lands, LaGuardia. I'm 6'4". I always do this. I stand up, and I get baggage down for other people. Okay? Old ladies or whatever it may be. There's a lot of heavy stuff up there, and I just boom, 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 boom. I just do it. Okay? The lady sitting next to me had big thing. I got it on. Looks at me, doesn't say thank you. Doesn't say thank you. Okay? Then the young woman, had to be 20, 21, across the aisle. She'd get two heavy things. I get that. She was so grateful. I'm going, this woman next to me, about 60, should have known better. Should have been just a simple thank you. But this young woman over here, and I gave another side look to this woman. Probably just loathed me. I understand that. Okay? And then I had to walk a half mile from the plane to the exit of LaGuardia Airport. Half mile. I don't know how older people do. I know they have the little carts and everything. Half mile? Jeez. I think I'm whining. Don't want to do that. Thank you for watching and listening to the No Spin News. See you tomorrow. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.